to order, it's 2:02.
Roll call, and we have Brian, Larry, Rex, myself are here, 4 of us. So our first order of business is the review and approval of the minutes.
I make a motion they're approved.
Got a motion to approve, is there a second?
I'll second that.
And we have a second. So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. So the minutes are approved. Very easy to read, I like the way they're done. The next item is the status of our funds. I was hoping Maggie would be here and she's not today, so as far as I know, we still have the same amount that we had as of the last meeting. There haven't been any expenditures that I'm aware of. That's all I have. So our next item is the state.
I guess one question, she mentioned that there is a new bookkeeper.
Oh, yeah.
Are you at liberty to say who that is?
I can't remember the name. She did tell me, but I don't remember. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
Just curious for the record.
Brian, you wanna tell us what happened at the state weed board meeting?
I don't want to take too much time, but it was very, very interesting. On December 10th through the 12th, up in Corvallis at Oregon State, there was the 2024 Oregon Interagency Noxious Weed Symposium. It's a biennial event and put together by the Department of Agriculture. And this year they did something that they hadn't done in the past, which they had on the first day in the morning, they had the state weed board meeting at the symposium. So that was a good thing. We all got to meet the board. Especially I got a chance to talk to several of them, especially Craig Pope is the chair. He's from Polk County, Association of Oregon Counties is who he works for. So there's a good variety of people on the board. Mostly talked about their upcoming funding requests. Hearing things that will be coming up at their next meeting, which I'm not sure when that is, which is they're going over all the proposals. One thing that came up to the board that to make a high priority for them was something coming in over on the east side in Malheur County. It's what's called a Palmer's amaranth. I mean, it is nasty. It's out in Idaho, it's a big problem. And they found a few plants. It just, the issue, it just seeds and just takes over. Millions of seeds. So that is becoming a a huge priority. Without going through a lot of the issues, we spent 10 days talking about weeds and control. Heard from weed boards, watershed councils, agency people who are dealing with both aquatic and terrestrial plants. And what encouraged me mostly was first of all, what encouraged me was the number of young people. Here I am on the backside of 40, but so young people, anybody under 30 or 40, so that are interested in control of noxious weeds. In the past, you talk to agency people, and we've actually seen that here in Douglas County. In the past, agency people, it was kind of a stepping stone position within an agency. It's like, yeah, you get thrown into this position and you really wanted to go do something else. But there are actually people within soil and water conservation districts and watershed councils and like I mentioned, that have a passion for noxious weed control. So that was really encouraging to see ways that they've been able to map and track, control weeds, spread, things like that. So there's a lot of demonstrations on how they track things. But what I didn't realize, and maybe I should have, was how lucky we are here on the west side. I would say 70% of the noxious weeds in the state are on the east side of the Cascades. Most of the funding that the state weed board does are for rangeland and aquatic issues on the east side. So we've got brooms and we've got a yellow floating heart and the willamette and things like that they have to deal with, but it's not at the scale of like cheatgrass and what this amaranth, Palmer's amaranth potentially has. So anyway, that was an eye-opener to funding. When somebody's doing a grant, they have to compete with thousands of acres of cheatgrass over a few acres of star thistle or woolly distaff thistle in our area. Anyway, that was just kind of a quick summary of my take on it.
So most of the
Lots of
funding is
information.
going to the east side.
What's that?
Most of the funding is going to the east.
I would say a lot of the funding is going to well-organized soil and water conservation districts on the east side. I can pass this around for quick. We can talk about it afterward if there's any questions on specific issues.
I remember Ken French saying that Douglas County is the weed capital of the world.
Yeah, I remember that
I thought
too.
that's kind of shocking to know that the east side has more than
They may do.
so.
Well, I think I've heard that cheatgrass is just thousands, if not millions of acres.
Thousands.
Yeah. Is it easy to it's not easy to control then, is it?
They're developing some strategies for it, yeah.
Okay.
It just the massive
It's a huge fire issue too.
fire issues have spread things.
Okay. Okay. Any other comments on that?
Thank you.
So Larry and I just came back from a quick review of the Himalayan Blackberry Tour, where that's gonna be. We've got three locations, Whispering Oaks Ranch, Woodford Forest Products, Ground, And then Steve,
Whose ranch?
pardon?
Which ranch?
Whispering Oaks, just outside of Green. And Steve Denny's property, they're all different. Carrie was with us, she had to leave, she couldn't come back. She thought they were all really good spots. They're all a little different, there's a lot of stuff to see. I think we can have a pretty good tour. Gotta get it finalized and so we can get it and we can put it out. But we'll be looking at different levels of management, some different things, drone work, fire. I was pretty impressed with all the different things. So as soon as we get that a little better planned out, be getting it out, I think.
Yeah, the first one, the first stop that we did was a ranch that had been left alone, and the cattle were taken off 15, 20 years ago, and what's happened there and the problems that she has. Second stop is definitely a commercial outfit, working with the trees behind the Dillard Roseburg Forest Products, back up in the hill, and they've sprayed with drones, helicopters. They've burned again, and they want to have grass growing on there where there was once kind of oak and
A lot of it's fire protection, really.
stuff like that. So that one has well-rocked roads going back up in there, so that'd be nice. And then Melrose Looking Glass is a house again where he's a house site where he's worked on the hillside by hand with the tools that are available and created a nice wetland out in the flat, and he's working on the hills behind the house. So
He has a good story about how many backpack loads of herbicide he used when he first moved in and how many are left, how many he uses today. He's been very, very successful. Any other comments on that?
And the date is still the same?
Still May 8th, as far as I know. I have to talk to Shelby and try to get this lined out, and Maggie.
And we do have permission from the fairgrounds.
I'm sorry?
We have permission from the fairgrounds for
Right.
parking and for any equipment demos.
If we want to do, we didn't really talk about that today, we got it, but we've got to get that lined out, whether we want to try to work an equipment demonstration and or at least let people see them. I'd like to do that. And we need to talk about goats sometime. I mentioned that we had an expert here.
I've gained experience, I'm far from an expert.
No, we have a lot of tools to show the public, that landowners that want to go on this tour.
if you bring some goats.
Bring goats, I
Providing
might
they're
show
willing.
up,
Yeah,
especially babies.
yeah.
Babies will work.
Okay, so our next item is other reports. Tracy, do you wanna?
Yeah, I can do that. I don't know about reports or new business, but either way.
Okay, they're kind of the same, aren't they?
Kinda. This, you all might recall, is the time of year, first of the year, to review the noxious weed list that we have. I don't know, I won't expect anything back today, but I'm bringing these brightly colored ones. I have these ready for a talk that I'm going to be giving later on, so I thought I'd pass these around. If you see anything, maybe bring it to the next meeting, and then I'll make any changes. We can vote on it, decide, and I'll make those changes. And Carrie gave me a list of the changes they have for the Oregon State list. I'm happy to make those changes, but with board approval. If you want me to incorporate the Oregon updates, I'll probably use the same format that we have already. And then just add, it already has their column on there, I'll just make any adjustments that they have for updates that they did last year. And then we can add to that anything that you see fit for us. That could be a change in the weeds, a change in the rating. But it'll give you plenty of time, hopefully between now and the next meeting, to decide if there should be any changes there.
So the state weed list changed? Did they upgrade or added something?
Yeah, I didn't pay a ton of attention to it yet because I received one and then Carrie said, oops, this is the right one, and kind of waiting a little bit to see something a little bit more official before I start making a bunch of changes. But that amaranth you were talking about sounds like one that
Palmer's
might,
amaranth?
yeah, it might get upgraded or added. And she mentioned 2 or 3 of them before too, I think in the last.
Is it just a 2-pager?
Yes, I did not
Because it says
copy.
3 of 3 and 2 of 3.
Yeah, so what I didn't include was like the cover page that describes what an A, B, and T list is. This is just the list of weeds and that's it. And at the end, I think there's more verbiage about turning in, does that one have the watch list on there? Yes, okay, so that should be a complete list of the weeds, it just doesn't have all the extra information.
Is Russian knapweed, is that the same as Russian thistle?
No, I asked that at the last meeting, that's different.
Yeah, cause the Russian thistle we've got now, we were talking about that this morning, that's something we need to look at.
And that's the tumbleweed version, the
Yeah.
Russian knapweed would be different, it would look like
I would
another
think,
knapweed. Alright, so the other thing I have here is Jeff with a G from Oregon State Extension Next Door put together these nice shiny brochures. I didn't know anything about it till we had a meeting just a few days ago, and kind of surprised me with these really nice shiny brochures. So I thought I'd share these with you. It incorporates our weed list and some photos of our problematic weeds here inside, and this I think is a great thing for us to hand out if we're at a booth or a table, like Wildflower Show or this upcoming workshop that I'm gonna talk about. And so it's nice that they did that for us. Says on there too that, in fact, this could be another thing that somebody could make a motion for after they look at it and if they like it, that there's an opportunity to add, on the very back of it, it says that you can contact them about adding it for a printable. And I think that might be a thing that we could do on our website, is just offer that as another link. And then people should be able to print that, I'm assuming. Might need to check with Jeff on that, but if that's possible and you decide it's something you wanna put on the webpage, you can check into it. So 2 other upcoming events, I'll be walking on one of them with some other colleagues, and then this is one that I'll be talking for an hour about weeds. And this one, I just copied the very front page of the catalog. It's similar to Tree School if you've ever been to Oregon State University Extension, their tree school out at UCC. This is also at UCC. It's gonna be in the same building that Steve and I, at least you were there too, right? Yeah, so that same building is where this is going on, and it's Spring Into Gardening. And like I said, I just printed the front cover, but I just wanted to pass copies of that around in case, people who are interested in that. There are lots of topics. You sign up just like you would for Tree School. I think just a 4-hour block. And that one is on a Saturday, March 21st, I think. And then, or no, that one's March 8th, and this one is the 21st. This is just to go for a walk in the woods out by Glide. It's at the transfer site, but behind it where the Glide Forest is, where the 5th graders go on their tour each year. And it's a celebration of International Forest Day, and the topic this year is about food from the forest, but Alicia expanded it to goods from the woods. So it's another one that's being hosted by Oregon State University and several partners that are getting together. This one will talk about any type of, I mean, they're gonna talk about lichens and mushrooms and trees, products and all sorts of things, just anything that you might think might come from the woods. And it's a walking tour, they do have some keynote speakers, they have some folks that'll be there from the tribes, talk about cultural uses, baskets and mats and all kinds of things that also incorporate goods from the woods. So I'll pass that around as well. This is the one that's on March 21st, which I believe is on a Friday. That's all I have. Steve, I'm gonna turn back over to you. Have any other new business?
Okay. We had a little breakfast meeting with people that are involved with weeds this morning. Carrie Perosco was there, Tracy was there. We met Brandon Rutledge with Pacific Power, really appreciate him showing up. Let's see, who else was there? Larry, Mark. That's about it, you know. It was a good discussion about things that we could do and we heard about how Pacific Power deals with their weed issues, so that was good. And Brandon said he's got 5 foresters that work with him and that he wants to work with us as he can, and he would make some folks available to help us sometime if we need it. So I thought that was all very positive this morning. And then the other thing, Larry and I were talking about on the way over, I didn't look before we came, but we've got Glad Wildflower Show coming up. I think that's
Last weekend in May.
Oh, it's in May.
It's usually the last, is it May? April.
April, I think.
But it's always the last weekend.
Yeah, and it'll be before our next meeting, so I just wanted to throw this out if somebody wanted to go and participate. I know Brian's done that. Larry said he might want to. I've done it. And you may or may not be able to, so.
I have been a botanist at those, help identify plants, and they
Okay.
did reach out, but it's always hard when it's a full day or two.
Right. I think we probably reach as many or probably more people doing that than anything else, at least I have, so.
I have to.
And so if anybody is interested, I think we need to get a hold of Carrie. I guess if you let me know, I'll let Carrie know, and then she can get it going, unless you guys wanna call her too.
I think I did help gather together some weeds though.
You did last year.
Yes, so
You had a number of weeds there.
yes, so if you want that kind of help again, where I'm
Okay.
gonna incorporate it with my regular workday,
Right.
then I'm happy to help out that way.
Right. You get all kinds of crazy comments there.
I remember a wrap up on it, somebody had mentioned wanting to change where we're gonna be at or something having to do with our participation.
Carrie said they wanted somebody to give a presentation,
Okay.
but I don't know if they're gonna change. Maybe she said that might change us. I don't know.
I don't remember that, but I remember what you're saying, that they wanted people to give presentations.
So I was hoping she would do that actually, but somebody else wants to. 'Cause
She's
said-
usually there, right?
Yeah, well,
I didn't see her there last year.
what she does, she comes, usually she sets up.
Uh-huh.
And then like on Friday, but I don't think she's usually there. She might come back Sunday or something, yeah. And several of the other botanists usually show up too. And I'm gonna throw in one of the conversations this morning, and I'm not gonna say too much, except there are a lot of botanists and other folks in the agencies that are losing their jobs, and there are grants that aren't being done and such, so we don't know where that's gonna lead us, so I'll just probably leave it at that. Any other new business?
So you're going to mention to Carrie that we're a go for the Clyde?
Yeah, I will. Okay. Anything else? All right, then I guess we're adjourned. Thank you for coming.